I'm Jacqueline Moustache-Belle. I'm the mayor of Victoria, that's from the Republic of Seychelles, an island off the east coast of Africa. I'm sure you know about that. And I'm also the vice president for East Africa Region Office. Well, GADEPA for us, it has been a bit in the making. When I say in the making, because we've been working on it for a while. I'm not sure if you're in the know, but Seychelles is not decentralized, or was not decentralized. Now, because GADEPA is a lot about decentralization and the way forward and how to get it done. So I'm very proud to say that last month, and when I say last month, that's August 2015, the Assembly voted and approved and voted in favor of the bill, that is the law, for decentralization to start in Seychelles. So all is set, and now we are in the process of setting up the mechanism for the elections for the various districts, and also the mechanism of how to generate funding for the districts, how to become autonomous, if not completely, because in our country we have some regions, I'm sure in other countries as well, where it's like development is not allowed, simply because this specific area is under the environment protection. It is a national park. So you see, these are the things that we will have to address, as in, if you have, like, let's say, the majority of your constituency that belongs under the national park, then how do you generate funds from it? These are the things that we're working on, and we're also working, first and foremost, the structure for the election. This will be next year, probably after, because we have a presidential election that is also around the corner, and then the district, the local government election will take place. So we are very much into the GADEPA. UCLG can very much help us, because we believe in why invent the wheel when the wheel exists anyway. And you see, UCLG is a grouping of so many countries, of all the African countries, and there are other countries before us that have just undergone the decentralization process, and there are those who still have not done it. But for those who have done it, they have come in all different forms and sizes, and there is not one coat that is made that will suit everybody. So there is the plus and the minus, the pros and cons of each and every model. So UCLG has been able to gather all this information, and they have the expertise, and so we feel that if we consult with them, they will be able to offer the technical know-how, whereby we will be able to come to a mechanism that will be, maybe I cannot say perfect, but close to perfection, that will be suitable for Seychelles. Yeah, maybe there's this position that the world doesn't know about it, or maybe even the African continent doesn't know about it, and we of course are to blame, because maybe we don't shout and scream about the good news enough. We have UCLG Africa, and then we have UCLG other parts, you know, Eurasia and Middle East, West Asia, etc., etc. And then we have UCLG World. Now, on UCLG World, Africa was the first region that brought in a woman. Yes, and that was in October 2013, when we had the last World Congress that was held in Rabat, and I was the first woman that was appointed on UCLG World, and it was a woman from Africa. I was appointed as co-president. And now, with regards to the African continent, yes, there's a lot of work that we are doing to promote, to ensure that women are empowered and they are put in the forefront. We've seen a couple more. In fact, from Mauritania, we now have a woman mayor. And then we also have the network, that the Réseau pour les femmes élues. It's a network for elected women of Africa. We have a few, not enough, Definitely not enough, but we have a few women in Africa that have been elected, but most of them are not necessarily for the capital cities or big cities. They are for the small cities. But then again, we know that, you know, one long journey starts with a very small step. And at least it's a way forward. And I firmly believe that once we empower the girls of today, they'll be the women of tomorrow, and they will take over, because women have very good leadership. And it's been proven in many areas where there has been women involved. The leadership has been a bit different because there is another way of thinking. And I always say men love working with women. Sometimes women, we are our own enemies. We don't push ourselves forward, and we stand in the little corner and say, oh, you know, but it's like this and it's like that, and etc. Or we fight ourselves. But we should look at men as our partner, because they are ready to do that. I think most men are. You will find the individuals, but we're not talking about individuals. We're talking general. And when you have both genders, it complements. We complement each other. We're not competing against each other. We should not get that wrong. We compete, you know, a species compete against the same species, not against the other, and women will compete against women, not against men, and vice versa. So this is it. This is the way forward, and I believe that the future for women in Africa is very good. And it's all up to us. It's in our hands. We need to move it. And I always say, in my country, we've done it. In Seychelles, you know, if you want to apply for a job, you just apply next to a man, and you earn the same salary if you do the same job, and nobody will tell you, oh, because you're a woman, we're not going to recruit you. There are some jobs whereby it's physical, and we don't have the physical strength. But now these days, there's more machinery that can take care of these things. So if we've done it, why can't the others do it? It's coming, maybe a little too slow sometimes. Maybe it's the women who are slow, but there's a bright future. It's like you always end up in a men's world. So and especially when I attended my first meeting with UCLG Africa, it was a room full of men. And even now, I mean, until last year, we had this lady from Mauritania, but it's always been in a room full of men. But it's nice. I don't feel any different. And they spoil you because you're the only woman around. So this is also a plus. But it was also, now on the more serious note, it was also a wake-up call, as in, but where are the other women? Why are they not around? And then when I spoke to the various countries, even, I'm talking world as well, there are very few. Paris just had their first women mayor, which was a very welcome, very good plus. Washington, D.C. has a woman mayor as well. But now it's coming. Now it's coming, and it's great. I think it's a big step forward. And as a woman mayor now, what I've done is to try and you know, push the agenda ahead. And I'm also part of a member of RAFELA. So this is what we do.